us off with your thoughts on tonight's match?
Yeah, we knew this was going to be a very difficult and challenging match. Coming into the week, we knew we had 3 and 8, and we knew the third game was going to be against the best team in the league on the road, and they didn't have a midweek game. And when you look at the guys we had out today, and you look at who we had to sub in, you look at the perspective of how good they are, and they were full strength, and it's on the road, and I'm just proud of the result. I'm proud of the fight, and it's a result that we'll take. Obviously, the goal we gave up is a tough one, but Jonah's a guy that's won us a lot more games than he's lost us, and at the end of the day, the guys in that locker room are supporting him, and he's disappointed, obviously, but the group's fighting, and I like where our mentality's at. It feels like we're coming together, and listen, we'll take the point. Wish we would have got 3. Thought we had it. We defended extremely well. Of course, they had some moments. We had some good chances too. Like Miggy had a great chance. Jossie had an excellent chance in the first half, and then obviously we scored a goal. We made it a game, where we were going to be more compact, more disciplined, and I thought we executed extremely well, except giving up the ball.
Thanks, Caleb. And for the first question, we'll go to Brett Hillbrant, Valley Sports Ohio.
You ask this team for 5 or 10% more, and then Aloy does that. Can you use that as kind of an example of what you want to see from these guys day in and day out, game in and day out?
Yeah, I think it was everyone, really. I don't think it was just Aloy. I think it was the whole team dug in today. Again, we knew we were playing the best team in the league, team that's running away with the league, and has lost very few games this year. And being on the road and being the fact that they didn't play a midweek game, and you see all the guys we have out, we lost 2 more, with Luis Diaz and Lucas. Hopefully they're not out long, but Pedro obviously concussion, Waylon out with COVID, Luis Diaz and Lucas out. We ended the game with some guys that haven't played in like 6-7 games, not even a minute. And so for us to come on the road and I think fight and dig in and defend and find a way and refuse to lose, I'm very proud of. But I think it's the whole team. Certainly there's some things we can always do better, but under the circumstances, we'll take the point. It's 4 points this week, and we keep moving, we keep momentum, and we're not losing, and that's a key thing. And a lot of games left, and a big one, Montreal. We have a massive week coming up. We have a full week to prepare, and then we have Montreal, which is a 6-point swing. They're in and around us. That's a massive game at home, and then we've got the Campeones Cup. We're playing for a trophy midweek, and then we go on the road Philly, and they're in around us. So those are 6-point swings in league. Listen, we'll take the point and take the positives, and I love that the group's fighting, and I love that we're coming together, and I love that, again, we're refusing to lose.
Thanks, Caleb. And we will open it up to a round of questions. Jacob Myers, Columbus Dispatch, you want to start us off?
Caleb, you always say you need your big players to perform well, and Aloy's probably been one of your most, if not your most consistent player this year. In games like this where you're going against a team with such a strong attack as New England, just how much of an advantage is it to have a goalkeeper who can do something like that late in a game?
Yeah, I think if you look at the couple of saves too, they're pretty routine for him. He's not pulling out of the upper corner. Those are saves that he makes. He's extremely solid. We think he's obviously one of the best goalkeepers in the league. We wouldn't trade him for anyone. But I also think Josh and Jonah, outside of obviously the giveaway, I thought Josh and Jonah were animals in the box today. And, obviously we're a bit thin on the outside backs. Got Waylon, Pedro. Obviously Milton had to come out at halftime because he was tight. So we're just constantly dealing with stuff. Lucas had a hip strain, wasn't available. Luis Diaz had a knee sprain. Pedro the concussion. It's incredible. And for us to, again, come on the road, I keep saying it, but, I admire this team, what they're doing, and none of the circumstances, it's a great result.
And like you said, Josh, Jonah, you guys did enough in the trenches to get it done. The outside backs you had mentioned this week, wide was an area that you really had to be aware of. Is that where you saw New England had a lot of the space, just where maybe could things have been a little tighter?
Yeah, I think there were times for sure. I mean, they're very difficult. The way they play, Tejon Buchanan, Bai, Jones, these guys are extremely athletic, extremely talented. That's one of the most talented teams in the league, and they're a top elite for a reason, and they've been full strength. They were full strength today. They had their best group starting today.
Thanks, Caleb. Thanks, Jacob. We'll move on to Patrick Golden, Massive Report.
Thanks, Caleb. So with the game plan, and what did you really expect from your attack and the game plan for what limited chances you were going to have? Were there any specific things that you saw how New England kind of set up that you thought you might be able to exploit maybe that one or two chances a game that to kind of steal something?
Yeah, with Lucas out, obviously we didn't have our 10, so we decided to move into a 4-4-2. Insert Miguel Berry with Giassi. We lowered our block a little bit just to be more compact. We've seen on film in New England, if you compact the space and you don't give them a ton of time, they struggle with positional attacks. And, I thought obviously they got in some pretty good spots, but we managed overall things pretty well until the very end. And our goal was to control them and then find transitions and a few moments. And I mean, I think people forget some of the chances. I mean, Miguel's, you're never going to get a better chance than that. Middle of the six, and Giassi's at the back post. And then obviously we scored a one. So, when you're coming up with a plan, you got to look at who you have available. You got to look at who you're playing against. You got to look at obviously how fresh they're going to be. And, I think the plan worked, honestly, and we should have scored a couple more goals. But we were never going to get a ton of chances. It's a game where we wanted to control them a bit more and then find two or three, and we did.
Thanks,
Also,
Patrick.
you got to think about who we have in the game. That's key.
Thanks, Patrick. We'll go to Ori Benatar, Massive Report.
2 questions for me. One, just a quick one. How's Aloy doing? Have you heard anything from him and what the injury might be?
I haven't even talked to the trainer yet.
Okay, I had a feeling. And then I just want to ask you about the defense, because you guys played compact and had to absorb a lot of pressure, and things looked pretty organized with Jonathan and Josh there. And you mentioned they played well, but certainly was interesting at the end. There were sort of those moments where, guys might not have been clearing quickly, or, another situation where you have a pass back towards the middle that leads into a goal. Is that something where you were a little surprised to see a mistake like that, especially with you guys in the lead? Because usually we've seen those pass backs when it's 0-0 rather than when you guys just scored a goal.
Yeah, again, I think the guys that are playing are giving everything that they have. It's that simple. The guys that are playing are giving everything they have. But we do have some guys in that are learning to win and learning to make the right decisions. And there were some decisions tonight for sure that need to be different and better. But when you have guys in that, aren't normally in when you're winning games, that doesn't just happen. magically by me waving a magic wand and saying, okay, go in and close out the game. So we had some moments for sure that need to be better. And there were a couple for sure in the last 10 minutes that we were fortunate on.
Thanks, Ori, and we'll go to Jacob Myers. One last question.
Caleb, Jussie redeemed himself from that first chance. I don't think he's gotten a better look all year. There have certainly been some games where he hasn't had a lot of looks, and for him to miss that first one, I mean, do you see that as a moment sometimes when guys aren't getting a ton of looks, those things can happen? And I guess just generally, how can you guys make sure you get him the looks he had tonight consistently?
Yeah, I think again, guys, you got to look at the game, third game in the week. You got to look who we're playing. You got to look at who's available, who's not. And it's simple. It's a good result if you factor that in. And we got him 2 really good looks, and he scored a goal. So very pleased with that.
Great. Thanks, Caleb. Appreciate your time. Safe travels. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Take care.